How's it going, guys? Dane here with another episode of my shower remodel. In this video, I show you how I installed and waterproofed cement backerboard before tiling.
DIY Dane.
The first order of business was to install 2 boards for the shower niche. Instead of wasting your time here, I'll be making a more detailed video on how I built this niche, and I'll insert the link when it's finished. If you saw my tile removal video, you may remember this weird, mostly lack of a stud behind the wall. I still don't know what the hell was going on here, but I needed to wedge a short 2x4 behind this part to push it flush with the drywall and make it more sturdy. I then drilled a new 2x4 to fill in the rest of the space and give the drywall and cement board something to mount to. To start with the cement board, I used a full 3x5 foot sheet on the back wall. Cement board can be pretty heavy, so if possible, you could make it easier on yourself by having a friend help. I used 1/2 inch thick backer board, so I used 1 5/8 backer screws, screwing the outer ones about an inch in and doing one about every 12 inches. This might have been a bit overkill, because I believe the recommended space is 16 inches. I then took measurements from the top and left side for all 4 sides of the niche. Setting the board on some 2x4s, I used a circular saw, set shallow enough so that it won't reach the ground, to make the cuts. When cutting the cement board, you can use a simple wood blade, but that board is going to eat up the blade very fast. You'll need to take more breaks so that the blade can cool down, and you'll most likely have to throw it out once it's all said and done. I have gone this route in a past project, but this time I used a diamond blade, and it made cutting the cement board so much easier and faster, and I won't have to worry about burning out my Ryobi saw in the process. When the cuts were done, I used a round file tool to make sure the corners were squared off, then hung it in place. I'm going to tape and mortar the corners and seams, so they don't have to be pretty and perfect. I then cut and screwed in the last bit of this wall, going right down to the edge of the tub. For the niche, I cut and installed the sides, then the bottom and top with just a couple screws each. And since the back is going to be connected to drywall, I used Loctite to glue the cement board panel in place. I'll just definitely need to remember this detail for any future projects that may include the wall on the other side. Next, I'll show you how I cut this narrow side with the plumbing. I measured the width all the way down, then measured from the side and top to the center of the shower head. Using a large square tool, I marked the width and cut it with the circular saw. I then made a mark for the center point of the shower head and drew some marks to make it look like a crosshair. A bottle cap was about the perfect size to mark for the hole I needed to cut, so I placed that over the center dot and used the crosshairs to help make sure it was centered. I then used a simple drill bit to drill into the board where I needed to cut. I also used regular wood blades on a past project, and this time I went with a diamond edge blade. Again, it's worth spending the extra buck because it made cutting the cement board so much easier. Before screwing this panel up, I marked where the studs were on the ceiling, so I had a line to roughly follow for the screws. For this bottom panel, I used the same method as the shower head for measuring from the right and top to the center of both the valve and the bathtub faucet. For the valve, I wanted a 4-inch wide hole, so I used a compass. Yes, that math tool you used in school, to mark the cut line. I used the compass for the bathtub faucet too, in order to make the hole a little larger than the bottle cap and give myself some room for error. If you're finding this video helpful, it would mean a lot if you took a second to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Once I had the cement board all hung, I cleaned the walls of debris with a shop vac and a damp towel. I then taped all the seams and corners. This step was done on the back wall and right wall before I had the boards on the left side because I didn't have the parts for the plumbing quite yet. I then needed to mud the seams and screw holes. For this, I used a thin set mortar meant for ceramic and porcelain tiles up to 15 inches since my tiles are going to be 3x12 porcelain. What I use for mixing the mortar are 2 clean buckets, one filled about 2/3 with water, a sponge, and a mud mixing drill and paddle. Always make sure the paddle is clean before using. With mortar, it's not so much a big deal, but a dirty paddle can discolor the grout. Dried mortar from previous projects can also cause the mud to dry quicker than you want. Now, there are instructions on the back of the bag for how much water you use. But what I like to do is use a cup for the powder and a sponge for the water. For the seams, I don't need a lot, so I just use a couple scoops. Then I transfer some water with the sponge. The sponge helps you use just a bit of water at a time. You don't need much. In fact, I actually ended up using a bit too much, so I had to add another scoop. We're looking for a toothpaste-like consistency. If you pull the paddle out, getting a peek in the mud, it should slowly settle. If it doesn't settle, add a little water. If it settles quickly, add some powder. Per the instructions, I do let this set for 5 minutes, then mix it one more time. If you're mortaring or grouting for the first time, I do suggest using less at first until you get some practice because the mud may dry faster than you can keep up with. Using a trowel, I spread a thin layer of mud on every screw and along the corners and seams, spreading it out enough to cover at least a ½ inch past the outside of the tape parts. The final step is waterproofing with Redguard. I applied it just as I would paint, using a paintbrush for the edges and corners, and a paint roller for the rest. Just like most paints, it's also best to do 2 coats. This may be an unnecessary step because the cement board and mortar is supposed to be its own waterproofer. And now it's ready to be tiled. I'll share a link for that part once the video is ready. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out the rest of the remodel on my channel.